everyone, welcome back to Continental Food and Cake TV. If it's your first time here, you are highly welcome. In today's video, I'm so excited. I'm going to show you how to cook beans and plantain. I know there's a lot of people who don't like beans, but by the time you watch me cook these beans and you follow the recipe, you will become a beans lover. And you know, beans is high in protein and it's supposed to be one of your food a week, as in you're supposed to be eating beans 1 or 2 a week. So if you don't eat beans at all, please incorporate it in your meal for the week, as in one day in a week you cook your beans and you eat with your family, because it's so good and it's very high in protein. So if you want to see how I'm going to do that, please keep watching. If you're new here, you've not subscribed, please subscribe, turn on your notification bell so that whenever I upload you will not miss it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to introduce you to the ingredients we're going to use in cooking the beans. But before that, I'm going to ask you for a favor. If you're interested in makeup, I'm a makeup artist. I have another channel where I upload makeup, like this makeup that I'm wearing now. I film it in the other channel. It's called Joy Beauty. So if you're interested in makeup, please go to that channel and subscribe. Yes, subscribe. I have a lot coming on makeup, on recipe. I'm a food lover and I'm a makeup lover, so subscribe to both of my channel. You're going to enjoy it, you're not going to regret it. So let's get started. I'm so excited to show you how to cook beans, because this beans is so yummy. So let's get started. For ingredients, these are all the ingredients I'm going to use to cook the beans and plantain. And in here I have the regular long pepper. And this is a bit spicy. It's not too hot, but a bit spicy. I'm going to use 2. 1 plum tomato. I'm going to be blending these 2 together with the scotch bonnet, 2 regular onion and 1 red onion. I'm going to chop 1 to fry and blend 2 with the tomato and the pepper. Then I have the beans, 600 grams of sweet beans. This is sweet honey beans. So 600 grams of that. Crayfish, 1 tablespoon of crayfish. I'm going to be using some vegetable oil to fry, about a cup. Then the plantain, I'm going to be using ripe plantain. It looks like you want to throw it away, but this tastes yummy. I'm going to show you how to cut it in a bit. And these are all the spices I'm going to use. I have curry, 1 teaspoon, garlic, half a teaspoon, minced half a teaspoon, and I'm going to be using non-chicken and jumbo for seasoning. But you can use any seasoning you have at home. Salt for taste. So let's start cooking our beans and plantain, or beans and dodo. So the first thing I'm going to do is to sift the beans, because there's dirt in that beans. You need to get the dirt off the beans, and I'm using a sifter to do that. And I'm going to be shaking it, and you can see all the dirt coming out from that beans. Look at what is coming out. Look at that. So you don't want that. So I pour the beans in the tray. What I'm doing now is that I'm looking out for stone or any beans that is not good, which is also important. You have to do this when you're cooking beans, because you don't want to cook your beans straight from the pack. Sometimes it has the stone or dirt. Ensure that you don't have stone in your beans. You have to do this. You have to follow this step. Next, I have my pan heating up in a high heat, and I'm going to pour hot water into the pan. Then pour in the beans, the sweet honey beans. Pour it in and cook this for 15 minutes. After cooking it for 15 minutes, I'm going to wash it in the sink. This is how I wash my beans. I like to parboil the beans for 15 minutes before washing it. So this is the plantain. I've washed it. You need to wash it before peeling out the skin. So I'm going to cut off this part. Cut it off. You don't need it. It's going to the bin. Then run your knife through the skin of the plantain. Drop the knife. Then gently peel the skin. It's so easy when it's very ripe. Did you see that? So this is going to be thrown away. And I'm going to do that with the rest of the plantain. Just run your knife through it like this. It's so easy to peel off. Keep that aside. So after peeling the skin off from the plantain, next I'm going to cut it into cube sizes, and that's what I'm doing. After cutting it, I will show you what it looks like. It's so easy to do. And when cutting your plantain, it doesn't have to be the same size, because this plantain, some of it is going to dissolve into the beans because it's a ripe plantain. So this is what it's looking like after cutting it. After cutting the plantain, the next step is to blend your tomato and pepper. And with the pepper, I washed it and I removed the seed, and the onion, peeled the onion, cut it into small sizes. Then I'm blending it in the blender, and with this I'm not going to be blending it smooth, so you don't want to blend it too smooth. So it's been 15 minutes and you can see what the beans is looking like. The water has dried up a bit, so what I'm going to do is to drain it and wash it, then start frying the sauce. To fry the sauce, I have the pan heating up in a medium high. To that I'm going to add about a cup of vegetable oil, then adding the chopped onion into the oil and stir it in. So with this onion, I'm going to be frying it until golden brown. I want the flavor from the onion into the oil. So you can see this is what it's looking like after 4 minutes. Frying the onion till golden brown takes between 1 to 6 minutes because it's one onion. If you're frying more onion, it's going to take more. And in between these 6 minutes, I'm going to stand there stirring it in, because you don't want to leave this and walk away. If you leave it and walk away, it's going to get burned, because you want to fry till golden brown. You don't want a burnt onion. This is going to help the flavor of the beans. This step is very important. After frying the onion, the next thing I'm going to add is the tomato blend, which I'm adding in now. You can see how the onion is floating on top of the tomato blend. Beautiful. The onion that is fried till golden brown mixed with the tomato blend, fried together, tastes amazing. It tastes yummy. And remember that I blend the tomato with 2 onions, so there's a lot of onion there. Next, I'm going to add all the spices and the seasoning, and in here I have the garlic, curry, minced herb, non-chicken and jumbo. Add it in, and this is what is going to boost the flavor of the beans. So I'm going to stir that in gently. I'm gently stirring it in. So next I'm going to add in a little bit of salt and mix it in or stir it in. Next, I'm going to cover the pan with the lid and allow the tomato sauce to fry in a low heat. And this will take between 8 to 10 minutes. Please, you want to fry this in a low heat because you do not want your tomato to get burned. And in between the 8 to 10 minutes, I'm going to stir it. After 3 to 4 minutes, stir it in. So it's been 10 minutes of frying the tomato sauce, and this is what it's looking like. This is what you want. You want the tomato sauce to be separating from the oil. You can see the oil bubbling on top. That's what you want. After frying the tomato sauce, which is so important, you need to fry your tomato sauce to take out the sourness that comes out of that tomato plum. So next, I'm going to take this away and bring a big pot to cook the beans. Next, I'm going to pour in the beans, which I washed. This is how I like to wash my beans. But if you don't like this way, you can just feel free and wash your beans fresh. But I like to parboil my beans for 15 minutes, then wash it and start cooking. To that, I'm going to add the crayfish, which is 1 tablespoon. With my beans, I don't like adding too much crayfish. I want to taste that crayfish, but not too much. Then I'm going to pour in the sauce, pour it into the beans. Look at that, beautiful tomato sauce. After pouring in the sauce into the beans, the next thing I'm going to do is to add hot water to help cook the beans. And I'm going to be adding water until above the level of the beans, because when I'm cooking my beans, I like it runny. But if you don't like your beans runny, then you have to reduce the amount of water you add. The amount of water you add into the beans determine the end result. So if you don't like your beans with the sauce, then you need to reduce the amount of water you add in. but I like it runny, or I like it with the sauce. So that's what I'm going for. So next I'm going to add in some salt for taste. Remember, I've added all the seasoning. With these beans, you don't want to over season it because it's a sweet honey beans. And adding the plantain into it is going to add sweetness. So you don't want to overpower it because this beans on its own has its own natural sweetness. So I'm going to cover the beans, allow it to cook in a medium high for 20 minutes, then come back and show you what it looks like. So it's been 20 minutes and I'm going to check on it. This is what it's looking like. 20 minutes. I'm going to stir it in. Gently stir it in. And this is what it's looking like after 20 minutes. I'm still going to cover it again. Allow it to cook for another 15 minutes before adding in the plantain. So here comes the lid. Cover it again for 15 minutes to cook in a medium high, then come back and add the plantain. The beans has been cooking for 15 minutes. Now I'm going to check on it on a medium high. So I'm going to open it. Look at that. So beautiful. So next I'm going to add in the plantain, which is going to give the beans sweetness. So I'm still going to allow this cook for another 10 minutes. Then our beans and plantain will be ready, or beans and dodo. In Nigeria, they call it beans and dodo. Yes, but it's beans and plantain. I think it's the Yoruba that call it dodo. So here comes the lid. Allow it to do its thing. Allow it to cook, at least for 10 minutes. So it's been 10 minutes and our beans is ready. The beans and plantain is ready, and this tastes so yummy. You need to try this. After trying this, if you don't like beans, beans will become your favorite food. And with these beans and plantain, you can eat with even white boiled rice. You can eat this with bread. You can even use this to make African burger. Means you have a sliced bread, pour the beans into the bread and fold it over and eat. Oh dear me. Then you can eat this with gari, which I'm going to be eating with gari. Let me know in the comment section if you understand what I mean. Beans and gari, soaked gari. Hey, that's why I love these beans. You can eat with a lot of things. So please try this and let me know if you're going to be trying this. If you're new to this channel, you've not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe, there's more recipe to come. Subscribe to Continental Food and Cake Family and you will not regret it. Thank you so much for watching this video till this point. Thank you for watching till the end. To my old subscribers, thank you so much. To the new subscribers, thank you. And if you've not, consider subscribing. I love you all. For all the ingredients that I use in cooking the beans, I'm going to list on the description box, so please check that out. And also follow me on Instagram, continentalfood.cake. There's a lot going on Instagram, so check my Instagram. I love you all so much, and I will see you in another beautiful one. Bye bye.